Welcome to the Community Preservation meeting tonight, One Government Center in the hearing room. It's 6 o'clock, June 17th, Monday. Pursuant to the open meeting laws, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. It is therefore advised that such recording or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and deemed acknowledged and permissible. We'll start with roll call to my left.
Michael Farias.
Alex Silva.
John Brandt.
Jim Hornsby.
Rick Mancini.
And we have Sandy Dennis, Administrative Assistant, here, and Craig from FRTV. And we are missing Joanne Bentley from Housing and Christine Oliveira from the City Mayor appointee. And we're having an open seat in the Park Board and City Council. Any citizen input? No. Okay. Can I have a motion for approval of minutes from May 20th?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of May 20th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
You were good, yep. Alrighty. Next, we have sign locations. We haven't been able to find all of our signs, but I think we found, what did we come up with, Sandy, 10?
We have two large signs.
12 we're putting up.
Yeah, they have 12.
We tried to cover most of the city as possible. For those that are watching, we have a medium one going at Antioch on Rock Street. Central Fire Station, we have one going medium. The Children's Museum, we have a large one going up. Father Kelly Park, we have a medium sign going up. Historic St. Anne's Church, we have a medium. Kennedy Splash Pad
No, the overlook.
Overlook, we have a medium going up. Maplewood Park, we have a large one going up. The Maritime Museum, we have a small one. We have a medium one going up at the North Park stairway. Let's see, we have Pulaski Park Splash Pad, we have a medium going up. We have one at the School Administration Building, a small one going up. And then John the Baptist, we have a small one going up. And we were looking, we have signs, but they've got to be somewhere. So we don't want to order the big ones like we have now, the plywood. What we thought we'd do is order some, like the political signs they use,
Yes.
yard signs, and use those. Those come in a few different sizes. We were just going to probably grab a dozen or 2 dozen for additional, This makes it easier when a smaller project or they don't have a big yard space, like the Dr. Fisk house, Lafayette House, this would be a nice little sign to put there.
There is also one in front of the Historical Society, am I
Yeah,
correct?
we're gonna be moving that one because it's been there.
Okay,
And then when they start their roof, we'll put a small one out.
Gotcha.
In front,
I almost went by there and fixed it. I was like, it's not, it's
Yeah,
just the wind knocked it over a little
yeah,
bit, but
it's
if it's
squeezed
getting
over.
removed, then I
Yeah.
won't do that.
Do you know?
Chairman,
Yes.
what did the sign say?
The sign is it's a pretty nice sign. It's has 4 pictures of I think we have the Abbey Grill, I think there's the gates to the gates to
Oak
Grove
Grove Cemetery.
Oh,
They're all
Um,
CPC projects.
Yeah, there's
and-
4 different projects. Then it just says a project done by CPC.
oh,
And
okay.
then we put
That's
it up.
perfect,
Nice,
yeah.
colorful, gives us,
And where is one?
right now Historical Society has one up.
Fine, I'll, next
By the
time I
tea
go
house.
by. Next
That's
time I go
that's
by.
coming up and we're gonna move them
Thank
around.
you.
I'm in the planning field, and I have an office and a home right near that. And I have lots of friends who are in this business, the planning business and such not. And they were quite impressed by seeing that, and
Fine, I
especially,
just- You
yeah.
can't say what they were.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll only try to ask this question once.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
Did we ever find the sign that was at the armory? Is that included in the total? It might be inside the armory.
We looked in the armory. There was no.
No. Okay.
No.
That was a bigger one.
I,
That was
it's,
a nice big one.
I thought about asking the DCM. There's a problem with the North Barrel Ground, being broken into because there's no activity down there. That maybe CPC could store signs there and a couple other things and have a little activity there. At least we would know where
Yeah.
our signs would be instead of located who knows where.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Deed restrictions, I'll let Rick catch us up on this, but it looks like John Coughlin has done a fantastic job with the historic, the housing, and then the regular. We're kind of condensed to make it easy for every application. So, did you want
No, the only thing I was gonna say, or add to that, is that the generic, previously, when these deed restrictions were put together, there was too much emphasis placed on that given project within the deed restriction. It became confusing to handle, where did it go, it was just a shambles. So now, it's been standardized, the form is gonna be able to be applied to most of our deed, or just about all of our deed restrictions. We got the housing and we got the preservation for historic. And, the signature will be by, it doesn't specifically give a name on there, it just says the CPC chairperson.
Mm-hmm.
And then the grantee signs it, so, and it's just the grantee, so the sign is, I mean, the paperwork is very, very generic, very good. And I think it'll fly well.
Okay.
Can we-
Excellent.
Can we review a copy of it when it's ready?
Yeah.
Just like
Okay,
pass it.
Sandy could send a copy out, I emailed her the latest edition.
Yeah.
I thought you got a copy. That's why.
I don't think I got a copy of the new one.
Yeah.
I only saw the older ones. Were the older ones that were filled out the new version that
No.
were sent? Okay, yeah, I only saw the older ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might also be worth including it on the resource link page of our website eventually, so people know what they're kind of getting into, sort of thing, ahead of time.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. Because this year we're going to have, when they sign the grant application, they're also going to sign the deed restriction.
Yeah,
So
that's the
will
hope.
be everything done in one shot. So. Let's see. Any other questions on the deed restrictions or anything?
So in terms of having everyone sign, do we have anything scheduled for the current projects? Those letters are pretty much drafted, so once we get the new templates, we'll.
The award agreements are all done, letters of everything's ready, all I need are the deed restriction for the project, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna schedule the date here in City Hall, so that they can come in, sign it, I can notarize them, they have to be notarized. I have to be a notary, so I can notarize it that same day, so we'll have everyone come right in here at City Hall, third floor, and get it all done, then we can give it all to John, he can file that at the register of deeds.
And then perhaps we could start backtracking this summer when it's a
Yeah.
slow period before the next
That
grant
is
round.
the next step.
Okay.
We're gonna sit down with the attorney and get some advice as to which projects we should chase and which projects we should just let lay dormant, because they go back 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we'll pick up from there, so the next meeting we'll have a full
Yeah.
update on that.
Yeah, because
That's the next venture.
okay, because we don't.
This is approved.
Okay, because we don't have a meeting in July, so we can expect to see some progress at the August meeting then. And all right.
Just so you know,
That'll
Alan,
be the third Monday.
some of the older projects that have the same applicant, those restrictions have been done as well. So when they come in to sign this year's project, if they have an old, they can sign that day as well.
Great.
So
Yeah,
you
I
don't
remember
have-
we.
So you don't have to have them keep coming back.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Just one quick question. So I wasn't part of the selection of the new projects that are coming up. Where can I actually find where those are? Yeah, I'm
The
assuming.
last ones that don't have anyone assigned.
Oh, thank you very much. There you
It's
go.
on the
Yeah.
webpage.
Yep, on the second page here.
It's the blank ones.
We're
Okay,
actually going
thanks.
to go right down.
Those are all the
this.
new ones. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Some are doubled up too, but
Okay, gotcha.
those are the new ones.
Okay,
Right, they're on the webpage too.
okay.
City website.
Okay, thank you.
FY 25 projects approved.
Perfect, thank you.
So I figured we'd just go down the list of the projects and who's assigned to it. If you want to switch off on it or something, feel free. Let's see, the first one is the Historical Society. Alex,
Yep,
that's
I'm
under
good.
you.
I'm still good with that.
Okay, the Massasoit Firehouse.
I'm good with that. Should be done. I'll just double check with that though.
Okay. Rick, you have the Maritime Museum.
That's a completed project.
That one's
Okay.
completed? Come.
I didn't sign off on it, but Sandy would
Got
know.
the last invoice,
You did get the last invoice?
and there's
Okay.
money left over, so that's gonna come back.
All right.
So
That is
did-
closed.
So who signed off on the last invoice?
I'll check on the paperwork.
I didn't sign on it.
All right.
I
We'll
was
just-
there, and he didn't have paperwork the last time I
Check.
reviewed the
They have
project.
money left over, that's coming back to us too.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just make sure the invoice isn't actually the money left over.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
May I have a quick question? That was associated with some electrical services that would happen
Yeah.
required? At what phase, I'm assuming you're overseeing that the work is getting done and you're signing off on this. Does that go back to the city for the building inspector to also sign off on this?
We'll sign off on the building permit before they
Yeah.
can use it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Normal.
occupancy or
Yeah.
anything of that nature. But that, I just wanna make sure that we don't sign off on something, then all of a sudden it didn't meet whatever,
No.
We're signing.
certification, especially for electrical and plumbing or HVAC or anything of that nature, where
What-
damage could potentially be.
Yeah.
Our certification is that the project has been completed according to the CPC requirements of our document. It
Okay,
has nothing to do with the quality, well, I won't say that because we do watch for quality.
Like historic
Yeah.
preservation.
It has nothing
Okay.
to do with the work, that's up to the contractor,
to deal directly with
services,
this,
et cetera.
get their certifications, go
Yeah.
through their inspections, and they're done with it. And so,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it as, it's almost as if you've ever done a construction loan, you have to go through the process, and you have to have not only the contractor do that work, but also get the certification of occupancy based on, it went through, passed all the approvals. So that's why I was trying to figure out are we kind of like the bank and we're overseeing the construction loan and we're saying, yeah?
Yeah. Normally they would. It'd be nice if they would call. The city signs off on it, so we
Yeah.
know it is up running and up to snuff. I mean, because he could always say, "I'll come back when the city signs off," and
Yeah.
knowing that it is, instead of paying for something that might not work. So.
Well, that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying, because I kind of, in a construction, we do large scale construction projects. And one of the things is if you sign off on that one, that contractor could be gone and it's not occupied. It's not occupied because it didn't pass certification from the city. So I just was trying to make sure that, are we putting the cart before the horse or
Yeah.
type of
In
scenario?
this case, one has no bearing on the other.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, say we're signing off that a project that received a historic preservation grant meets Secretary of Interior standards. So in a perfect world, we would go there beforehand, see what it's like before work begins.
Mhm.
Take pictures, photo documentary evidence,
Yep.
and then when we're signing off on invoices for work, we're making sure that that work is not violating Secretary of Interior standards or any conditions we put in the purchase or the grant award. Ideally, the liaison, all of us are being contacted at multiple steps in the process. We implore applicants to, reach out during the RFP process when bids are open. Like we'd like to be a part of all of that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All righty. Article 97, protection, Alex.
Yep.
Okay. The Preserving Water Department documents, Alex.
Yes.
The Lafayette House.
Yes.
What's still going on with Lafayette House? Anything?
I think no, but I will double check. It was, I believe, the leftover grant was for accessibility improvements on the second floor, or that, and there was a project on the second floor, and I believe they're not accepting the grant for the ADA compliance because they don't need it and would prefer not to further change the exterior of the house. So that, I believe, is one of the grants on our list to be returned funds.
Okay. All right. Central Fire Station, that's me and you, Alex.
That's Rick and I. right? Or do
I
you
think
have
we
this
switched,
one?
I switched Rick out last time.
Oh, this list is just a little confusing then.
Oh, no, that does, oh, me and you were in
Yeah,
Lafayette House.
That's how it's written.
Okay, all right, yep.
And then
okay.
Rick and I are Central. Fire
And you and
Station.
Rick were Central. The Dr. Fisk house is Christine. How's
Kristen.
Kristen? Yeah. I'll get that right in 12 years. What's left there to finish out?
Windows.
Windows.
Waiting on a
Okay.
contractor.
All right. Form Bs.
Actually, we answered some questions, to the bidders, and their bids are due on June the 20th. So we'll have a better handle on things at that point.
Now, who's going to be handling that now?
I will,
But what department? You're going to go through facilities and maintenance?
no, I'm gonna, actually, what's happening is that the Form Bs of Steep Brook have been a donation by Roger Williams University.
Mhm.
And Professor Stiles was so enthused with the first half that she did for us in her reception, that she's already putting a class together in the fall to do the remaining portion of Steep Brook. So
Mm.
that's really going to not cost anything, and it's not gonna be any of these expenditures.
Okay.
Now, Michael Bossier, who's the forester up
Mhm.
in the reservation or bioreserve, and I have been working on this project. So we're teaming up,
Okay.
and we're gonna sort of carry the ball for this. Chris Pirano has subsequently resigned,
Yeah.
and he's up in Swansea at this point. And, looks like Dan Aguirre he's tired, he's busy, he's got a lot of
Well,
stuff going.
But he believes that that should go with the department that it, so I think facility and maintenance would be, or the water department would be,
Should be planning. It's usually planning, right?
yeah.
Right now, that's what's setting, because that's where the monies were allocated in planning. But he's got no interest at this point of spearheading that and getting
Right, yeah.
the consultants out to the various sites. So I think it's gonna run very well the way it's established.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Let's see, the school administration building, that's me and Rick. They haven't started anything there yet, but we're good for that project.
Just for the new members, if there's any projects that you're interested in or wanna, take
Yeah,
part in, ideally it's supposed to be one per project, but we kind of double up when needed, so just.
Yeah, I mean, if you see something, again, if it's a relatively new project, then at least I can start fresh on it.
Mhm.
I don't wanna,
Okay,
but I'm okay if you need help
Mhm.
with something else. You're just gonna have to get me up to speed of where they're at.
yeah. Fire museum, that's me. You wanna get on that one too?
Yeah, I actually did, as long as, I've got to be perfectly honest, I've done donations and work on the fire are we talking about the historical fire museum?
On
On Main Street, yeah, Agawam,
Yeah.
Fire Museum, yeah, so as long as that's not a conflict of interest, I'm
No, no.
okay with doing that.
No. So we'll put you on that one too. Oops. Then, the East Bay Bike Path,
That study is still being done and not completed with that, last time I spoke.
So things of that nature, I'm actually pretty familiar with. I don't do work in the city of Fall River, except for the waterfront project, which is actually Mass DOT. So I'm okay with doing projects of that nature. I've done them in the past, so I'm very familiar with them. But like you just had mentioned, now with Chris leaving the planning board, I wasn't able to attend the planning board meeting last week, but there is going to be quite a void. I can only imagine the amount of work
yeah.
Dan has on his plate right now. So any of these projects that are moving along, I'm more than happy to bring my expertise into that. So that's,
Okay.
if you need help on it, I'm okay with that.
Do you want me to add Mike to that project?
Yeah, go ahead, Adam. Then the Vietnam South Watuppa, that's Joanne. Copacut Reserve Water Supply Land, that's me.
And Rick.
And Rick. The Quequechan Rail Trail, that's finished out, right?
That's completed.
Okay. The Niagara Bike Path,
Yeah,
that's Rick and you. Okay.
who's working on that?
Did you wanna,
What are we doing?
well, you wanna explain a little of that? Rick,
Yeah,
since you're on
what that Niagara bike path is someone put together wants to get the streets painted and create a bike path through some of the back streets or up there in the Tecumseh area or Tecumseh Street and up through the Niagara area. And the last time I spoke to Chris, actually, there was just no interest anywhere to go forward with this. And I believe that the project is over. It's 2 year. So
Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna have any,
Right, so I think this is closed. This is one of the projects where the money is closed out.
okay, so we'll just mark that closed out. They can always bring it back to us.
Right.
All the bids, the price,
So
cost
it was
proposals
just
are out.
streets
Yeah.
to Lamar.
It was going to be streets, yeah, that's all, Jim.
So the South Shore Kennedy Park overlook, Rick on that one?
Yes, the last time I spoke with Al again, it's got some, I actually saw the design. It's very, very good. It's impressive. The problem is that the cost is increased significantly.
Yeah,
By many dollars, so they're trying to appropriate enough money to get started in there, so it's not moving at all.
yeah.
Did, do you know who actually designed that? Who was the
No, I
team?
don't,
Yeah.
no, I don't remember.
Was that through Al Lima way back when? I know
Through Al Oliveira.
Al Alvaro. Yeah, we worked with Al Lima many, many years ago
Yeah.
on certain projects.
It's
I
been
think it
changed
was Al Lima.
three
Al
times.
started it
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
back
it's been
when.
changed 3 times, it
Has
keeps
it?
getting
Yeah.
bigger, and I don't know why it keeps getting bigger, I mean, cause we meant it as passive, you know, you sit, relax, you know, now
Yeah.
we've got gazebos
And grows and grows and
you know,
grows.
it's-
Yeah. Yep.
let's see, Antioch School, we have, Chris, and then she's on preservation
That-
design guidelines.
That should be done. Those are on the website right now.
Are the preservation design guidelines on
So those
the
are done?
website as well?
Yeah, those are on there.
I was just gonna make a comment. I know, you probably read in the paper about with the MBTA and the housing requirements and such not. And I've pushed this on the planning board side as well, like going through a proper site plan approval process, but also design guidelines to it. And I'm glad to see that these are here.
You actually, on your board, were handed a few copies.
Yeah.
So you should have a copy.
So what I'm stipulating here is that this increase of housing that's going to be coming up, if you have some criteria associated with it, make sure you're set with them. Like that's going to be, because you're going to end up seeing a huge flood of need or requirements for housing associated with this, or the preservation portion, or the historical portion of it, or the open space. So just, I've been pushing to have that done throughout the city, outside of this committee, but make sure you've, crossed your Ts, dot your Is, and you want what you
We're
want.
trying very hard.
No,
And we could use all the historic commission.
Yep.
We can use all the support we can from the planning board, so
Mhm.
if you see something coming up that's an issue, raise the flag.
yeah, the planning board works really, it's, a bit antiquated, I'll say, how it
Could you
runs.
speak a shade louder?
Oh, yes, I apologize.
That's
it-
I apologize.
No worries. Yeah, the planning board has little less to do with doing actual planning and setting stipulations for the city. It really is just a review of what comes back from zoning. And so, I'll give you an example. Somebody may want a subdivision of a land in zoning. It gets rejected. it doesn't meet the requirements, the minimum zoning law requirements. So for instance, setback requirements, frontage and that type of scenario, so they do not approve it. Say for instance, you need 10-foot minimum setback on sides between buildings, well, that's a health and public safety protocol, and it gets rejected. Then it comes to the planning board, and as long as that plan has been modified 50%, 51% or more, then we have to say it's approved. And so if you've ever watched me do the planning board, I always give the caveat, yes, you've made the changes to the plans, but it still doesn't meet the minimum requirements, and those are public safety requirements. So again, a proper site plan approval process would go through your fire department, in which they sign off on it and say, yeah, I can get my service, my hook and ladders up, I can get my fire protection, whatever it might be, and that gets signed off. So when it goes back to the zoning, a lot of times they'll say, oh, the planning board has approved this because the plans have changed, but the reality of it is, they're still not, they don't meet the minimum requirements of public safety. And then it gets approved and gets built. And so why I say this is what you want and how you want it, especially historical preservation and buildings and housing. Make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, and that will actually set the guidelines. So with that, I yield.
Thanks.
Our purview really is only the grants and the projects, the applications that come before us, so we can't really make blanket, zoning requirements, but we can put conditions of the grant in the grant award, and that might be the best avenue for some of the things you're thinking.
Yeah, I've sat on both boards, the planning and historical in Salem and in Boston. And so, for instance, I'll give you an example. If you go through and the house, I'll just use a residential. A residential property is, especially like in Salem, you want it to be historical and what the materials are, how you're going to do it, anything that is publicly seen, you have to meet those design guidelines. If it was a piece of property that was facing in the backyard or whatnot, like I'll give you an example, the wooden gutters in Salem. The backyard, you don't have to put the wooden gutters on. Everything in the front that you see, the public sees, you have to do that. So that's the only reason I say that. And there are some really good, really good guidelines set in like Salem and Boston, and New Bedford's actually coming up a little bit as well too. So I just want to make sure that's, to protect yourself and protect what you want, and
Yep.
that's how you go forward with it.
So let's see, Art Association, we have Chris and Rick on that one. The pump station engineer design, how's that going?
Tell you the truth, I do not know. I did hear some conversation on the water board meeting, and they were talking about, again, the status of money to get some of this done. But that's all I really know. I will have a good report on that one in August.
Okay, alrighty. Maplewood Park, that's pretty much closed out, isn't it?
Yeah, they had some grass issues, but the project itself is done.
Okay.
I-
Father Kelly Park, how about, we have Joanne and, Jim, you wanna go on that one? We're putting lights up at the Father Kelly Park. Sound like a good one for you?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Sure. I know where the park is.
Yeah, we're putting up, lights like we.
Yeah, I
did,
know what lights are, and I put them up, and last time I put lights up was in 1966.
I'm okay stepping in on that if you would like to.
That's,
We do stuff like that regularly.
yeah, I'll work on it.
Okay.
All of it, yeah.
Just,
Now, if I need help, I'll grab it.
Well, they just sent that out to bid, so, that's Nancy Smith at the Park Department, so. North Burial Ground, was Vic and me, so, that's pretty much wrapped up.
No, it's not, they didn't do the gate.
Yeah, the gates are not repaired.
The gates and, but
The
with the
window,
speed they're moving.
and then the windows,
The windows,
We're already broken and boarded up again, so I mean,
yeah. I did
Is it
suggest
done?
to them to, do the same thing that the fire museum's doing with they're putting up a screen.
yeah.
It's like, you can throw a cinder block and it just bounces off.
Mhm.
But if you have airflow, you can open your windows and,
Yeah, well,
so,
anything.
but there's not much
Question,
movement on
North
that
Burial
out though.
Ground. Who's gonna be on North Burial Ground, or is it?
That's me, I'll stay on that one.
Is someone gonna be on there with
Do
you?
you want me to go on?
With
Um,
Mike?
If you want, yeah. Then Watuppa Rowing Club. We have just Joanne Bentley, but that might, could use another person.
I could follow that
Okay,
easily.
all right. They've already did the marking of the lanes, which you can't see because it's underwater. But, if you get a chance, go out there, give a call, because they're not always there.
Right, I know. I know, been there,
Okay.
and the lanes are white.
Yep.
And they're underwater.
Well, they sink them, and then when they have the race, they bring them up.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains where they went. All right. I, just for your info, I live right on the shore, so.
That's what I thought you
Oh,
lived down
okay.
that way,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I just-
Wonderful, yeah,
They noticed they were gone,
yeah.
but they're
Nope.
not gone, they're underwater.
Then, St. John the Baptist, we have, just Rick,
Yeah, that's fine, no problem, that's a small project.
okay. North Watuppa Pond seawalls. Mike, you wanna get on that one too with Joanne?
It's already me on it, Joanne.
Oh, okay, you got two.
You do,
I
okay.
get that line, it's underneath.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. Adirondack Farms is me and Rick.
Yeah,
Oak Grove, the iron, is that all finished?
Yeah, that's one, a lot of these have, that were given extensions, that's why.
Okay,
I think there was
So,
some
that's
funds,
why they're
right?
on there. I mean, they may be complete, but we don't know until we hear back. Letters went out to everybody on that, I'm waiting to hear back from them. So you'll see a lot of things on this list
what's
that
that?
might be done, but they were granted extensions.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I remember, this was one of the ones that Al Oliveira wanted to check to make sure everything was done correctly before relinquishing funds, and
Was that
that
the
was
wall?
2
Is
years
that the
ago.
wall that was repaired?
No.
I think it's the
Gateway.
gate.
the
The
gate.
gateway.
This is the gate.
Stolen
Yeah.
the iron
There,
for it,
there's
so-
there's a video of that particular
Yeah.
gate, so I thought it was done, and it was,
Yeah, well, it is done, basically.
Just to
Yeah.
touch up things.
And
Uh,
Mike, let me just explain, because there's been so much turnover in certain departments, and
Mhm.
new people are taking over these jobs, and they're not sure where they are, if they're.
Sure.
So they came to the committee for extensions, and a lot of them, like, even
Gotcha.
Paul Berlin, like the project you were asking about, the pump house, that's on the list. So maybe it's done, but that way you hear back from them, all those letters went out to them.
okay, perfect, thank you.
The Veteran Center is,
Same thing.
Vic and Alex, I think that one's,
I haven't
they've
heard
got a little bit of money there, which I told Al that, anything related to the roof, gutters, whatever,
Mhm.
otherwise, I think it was like 65,000 in that.
Yeah, I'll double check. I haven't heard anything since I was jumped on this one.
Okay, then the, Francis Green, that's Chris. The Fall River Public Library,
Still
that's
leaking.
still open.
That's an extension, a lot of these are extensions.
Yeah.
Still leaking.
We're still leaking.
Wasn't the roof,
Right,
Yeah, with the roof, I mean,
no, it's not the
probably
roof,
it was the
done,
gutter.
but
so, and part of the flashing,
Yeah.
so that will make repairs.
So the,
Sounds like general maintenance.
St. Anne's Church is, Alex and Chris.
Yep.
Okay. Union Belt, that project is, 70 windows putting in.
Okay.
That's up for grab, nobody's got that one.
I'll jump that, it's,
Maybe, what I would suggest, why don't you go through these 4 ones in here, And if there's something that I know I can,
Okay,
I would be really good at, I would be more than happy to run with anything of that nature, so.
how about Christ the Rock Church? That's, they're doing masonry, we're trying to see if
Yeah.
the plans can seal up the water, if that's the problem, instead of the,
Yeah, I can do above and beyond just anything outside of the building, but I can, whatever you want to assign me to, I'm fine with.
we'll put you on that one. Do you think we need you on that one, or?
Probably, just because the new members might need help.
Let's see,
I can go on if you want.
okay.
So the first to rock will be Mike and Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How about Union Belt? Who's getting Union Belt?
Rick.
Rick
Rick.
Peterson.
Yeah.
You put me and Rick, we'll do, probably only take one, but it's in my neighborhood, so. Corky Row,
What are you doing? Coffee
we're
Run?
doing a new roof there.
Replacement.
Just
Yeah.
a roof replacement, and then what are you doing at
And
the
a window.
Children's Museum?
And they're gonna take
That-
care of that window.
Window wasn't funded.
No, we didn't do the window,
Didn't fund that.
no,
That was cut to meet the
yeah.
funding.
The Children's Museum, we're doing, masonry work.
And that's water filtration issue.
Roof,
Yeah.
flashing gutters,
Stuff like
work.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take the Children's Museum.
okay,
And again, I think, whatever you can teach me on the Christ, the Rock Church,
all
what
right.
the process is, that would be great. And it's very similar, I guess. One's masonry, the other one's masonry
Yeah.
too, so.
2 blocks from each other as well.
Well, I'll take Corky Row.
No, I'm fine with traveling, that's not a problem. I just,
Jim, you want Corky Row too?
No, not particularly. Let
Okay,
me start with two.
Okay. all right. You don't wanna,
I'll jump on with you.
If there's one that you really need me, I'll be glad to do it, but I'm not,
okay, no, don't wanna,
I don't wanna bite off more than I can
No.
chew early in the
Get your
game.
feet wet and then go from there, yeah. So, in the Children's Museum, we'll have Mike and you two, Alex?
Sure. It's close to me. I could do Corky Row too if no one.
Well, I got Corky Row and Rick, so,
And Rick has Corky Row? Okay.
yeah.
so as soon as you train me, I'll make sure that
Oh no, I don't mind.
take-
It's
yeah,
fun, you know.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
just wanna make sure I know the process.
What I'll do is, I will give you all a copy of the award agreements,
Mm-hmm.
so you'll know what the project is.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and how much has been allocated, and I'll give you all, again,
Mhm.
you haven't gotten it, all of the paperwork that's gonna be filled out
Okay.
and signed when an invoice comes in. City side is different, I handle the
Yeah.
private side.
Yeah.
But we'll go over all that, so you know.
These are, it seems, it's like the same process on any of our big projects. You want an invoice, what have you done, but you've gone through, my understanding is, these projects have gone through, you've assigned them, they've won portions of it. Whoever did the application, they're responsible for doing the RFPs, they get the contractors to do the work, and we're just making sure that at the end of the day, that work gets done. But we don't have any insight or oversight on who the contractors are. It's whoever the applicants are,
right.
they're responsible for getting the contractors to do that work. And we're just making sure that,
They follow
because of these
the
funding,
guidelines, yeah.
yeah, that they're doing that portion of it. Okay, great.
Project updates, I think we covered, does anybody have any? New business? We are doing our annual meeting, in August, not as big as we did last year.
Anything planned for it? Finance coming down?
They're gonna get a letter inviting them to come and present the CPC finance report,
Can it
so.
be less of an invitation and more of a formal request?
To do that,
Thank you.
because we haven't.
Who would
had
come
any-
down, Cedric?
I have no idea, John.
Let's start with
I think
someone
we're
and
gonna
take
send
it
a
from there.
request to Bridget and Cedric.
I mean, cause Cedric, you let him know that we're not gonna be asking questions, we just wanna update.
I might ask questions. I don't see anything wrong with that either.
I'll invite both of them.
I apologize, I don't know who Bridget or Cedric are.
They're
Are
the,
they
financial-
Financial
Director of
people,
Finance.
okay, gotcha. I didn't know if there were, you were looking for particular department heads
No,
or.
last year they didn't show up to the agenda item to explain the committee's finances, which is relatively important knowledge for the committee and the public.
Okay. Very good.
Can we also ask for confirmation ahead of time so we're not sitting here waiting for them like last time for 30, 40 minutes?
I will.
Well, the budget's all done, right?
Oh,
I think
see,
the budget is all done and passed, so,
I will do my best to get them here.
so,
Just let me know if I need to start making phone calls every day to the same person.
yeah, pop that vacancy, Bridget, but, yeah. Okay, so no further new business? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
Roll call? Aye.